White Sox baseball on Chicago Sports Network is brought to you by Wintrust. Different approach, better results. The White Sox are home, their first homestand since the All-Star break. They dropped the first one to the Astros, a comeback win for the visitors. Colson Montgomery and the crew looking to get game number 2 and take a series win here at home. Good news for the White Sox, they still stay in first place. Good pitching matchup as well with Sean Burke towing the rubber for the White Sox. A 1.40 ERA in his last 6. He has been one of the best starters in the American League in his last 6 turns. Hunter Brown finished 3rd in Cy Young voting last season. Has always been good against the White Sox. Shaky this year, though. Sox will try and take advantage of him off the injured list of late. Welcome into the ballpark, everybody. I'm Connor McKnight. Great to have you with us here at Rate Field. Now, the White Sox fell in last night's series opener. That doesn't happen often. They've gotten some great results here at home. And offensively, lately, they've been led by some of the younger bats, specifically Braden Montgomery, who's really turned things into a good stretch over his last 10 games. For more on how he got there, here's Brooke Fletcher.
Well, Connor, he had 3 hits last night and just continues to show why he's one of the hottest hitters in this White Sox lineup. Will just loves his ability to adjust and feels like it's just a sign he's starting to evolve as a hitter. And take a look at the numbers. They really back it up. Over his last 8 games, he's had 11 hits, 11 RBI, and a homer. Will feels like that he's been a little bit more athletic with his lower half, which has allowed him to be on time more and use the whole field. But even with that production, he still feels like there's a little bit more under the hood. As he refines that timing, he feels like he'll be able to elevate the baseball and tap into that power that we know Braden can have. We'll see if he can get into that here tonight. We talk about tapping into the power. How about tapping into some velo? We've seen that and so much more from Sean Burke. He has been the ace for this rotation. Can he continue that success here tonight? John and Steve have more next.
White Sox baseball on Chicago Sports Network is presented by Toyota. Visit your local Chicagoland Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Let's go places. By Davis Law Firm, your Chicago lawyer. By Prevagen, made for your brain. And by Wintrust. Different approach, better results. That's Wintrust. Visit wintrust.com/here to learn more. White Sox coming off a tough loss last night, but it certainly wasn't this man's fault. Chase Maidrot, he has been balling. Made a slight tweak at the plate with his approach, and look what he has done over his last 9 games. A batting average over 400, 3 doubles, 7 runs driven in. Let's hope Chase Maidrot can keep things rolling here against the Astros tonight. What is up, everybody? Welcome inside the booth alongside my guy. He is Steve Stone. I'm John Schriffen. Well, since Steve, you are a pitching expert, obviously we're going to talk about the pitching here tonight. Sean Burke, how good has he been ever since mid-June, where he cleaned things up in that outing against the Yankees? He has been electric.
There is no doubt he's taken over the ace of the staff, and he's going to need it tonight as the Sox drop the first of a homestand. So he goes out there against a team that gave him some problems the only time he ever faced him. But look at the month of July. 3 starts, an ERA under 1, a whip under 1, which is unbelievable, and only 1 walk to go with 25 strikeouts. All things considered, that confidence is at an all-time high, and he's going to have to deal with the top of the lineup. Pena and Alvarez as a 1-2 combination are pretty tough to deal with, but the way Sean has been throwing the ball in July, he's probably the right man for the job at the right time, and Grant Taylor will appear in this ball game. Hopefully it's late, and hopefully it's in a win.
Well, we hope you are right, because the White Sox need to even up this series after a 9-5 loss last night. Game 2 is coming up next. First pitch after the break.
America, put down the burgers and pick up Arby's cheesesteak with 100% Angus steak and melty Cooper cheese. It's the best cheese.
Welcome into Rate Field. There is a ton of red because if you got here early, first 15,000 fans got that warm-up giveaway. It is a hot one here tonight as the White Sox get ready for Game 2 of this series against the Houston Astros. And the White Sox are going to wear a throwback hat in honor of Hall of Fame weekend, as the Hall of Famers will be inducted tomorrow. Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, Jeff Kent. And this is a hat, a nod to the White Sox from 1949 to 1950.
It's a little different, but it looks good. I certainly like the way it looks on the guys, and hopefully it'll be a winning cap.
Certainly could use that because it was a tough one. 5-0 lead heading into that 6th inning, and the Astros exploded. And after the game, just said it was kind of like baseball, right? Things just happen, it fall apart, and the Astros took advantage.
Yeah, there's really not much you can do. This bullpen has been so good over the last month and a half or so, and it's just one of those nights where it just didn't work. And if you're a manager, you never look smarter than when your bullpen gets the job done, and never look dumber than when the bullpen can't get it done. And unfortunately, that happens in baseball.
Bring him out, bring him out. Sean Burke sporting his Jordans. He has been the ace of the staff. So much confidence he brings into this game tonight since he put on a show in the Bronx.
Well, there is no doubt he's a different pitcher than he was the last couple of years, and that has come to him a little later than he would want, but sometimes you have to be ready for the adjustment you have to make, and he is ready to assume the mantle of the stopper. And after the loss last night, Sox could use one of those.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting Houston Astros. They've won 4 in a row. Jeremy Pena leads things off at short. Yordan Alvarez, the big bat, he has been incredible this season. Isai Paredes at third, Altuve at second, Wade Jr. He was in the White Sox system last year. The start in left field. Walker's at first, Diaz behind the plate, Lucas Spence with speed in center, and Cam Smith with a home run last night. The start in right.
There's a look at Sean Burke. He's on for his 17th start, 21st appearance, ERA of 3.20. A lot of strikeouts, 120 of them, just 34 walks. Things going very well with him. A hard hit rate of just over 35%. And this is how he's going to use his stuff. That four-seam fastball, which he leans on at 37% and averages about 95 miles an hour. Backed up by the knuckle curve, the slider, the sinker, the cutter, and the changeup. He's throwing more cutters these days, and he's using it effectively. We'll talk about that later in the broadcast. But right now, he's doing just about everything right, and he would love the start that Davis Martin got last night. Let's take a look at the defense and how Will is going to line them up behind Sean Burke. It's Sam, Tristan, and Braden in the outfield left to right, with Vargas, Montgomery, Meidroth, and Murakami in the infield. Edgar Caro's got the plate. We told you about Sean Burke.
All right, we are ready for baseball as Jeremy Pena is set in the box. Sean Burke getting ready to go through his windup to start Game 2 of this series versus the Astros. First pitch is swung on and drilled into left field as Pena stays hot at the plate. A single to start this game.
The weather is presented by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. 78 degrees, humidity way up there at 74%, and the wind will be a factor, 8 miles an hour right to left field. Behind the plate, Shane Leibensparger. Call strikes 5% below major league average in to right-hand batters.
Here is Yordan Alvarez, the big slugger for the Astros, as that fastball misses up out of the zone, ball 1. You see his numbers this season. And the first 2 at bats, it looked like the White Sox handled him well, but that third at bat, he really got going.
Well, there's no doubt that he's about as strong as anybody in this game, and when he does get a hold of it, there's no park that can contain him. Yesterday in a similar situation, although Pena got on an error, Alvarez was kind enough to ground into a double play. Another one of those of the 4-6-3 variety would look pretty good right around here.
Gets him to pop this one up in the infield, as it is Vargas calling for it, and it drops. Well, he will get the lead runner at second.
Not a bad trade-off, actually, because you're trading a guy in Pena. He'll take a seat. Alvarez will stay at first base, and he doesn't have real good speed.
Here is Isai Paredes, who has reached base safely in all 17 games that he has played in July. Over the course of that stretch here in July, hitting .308 with 6 extra base hits. It's really these first 3 hitters in the lineup that are so tough right now.
Well, one of the reasons why Paredes was eventually traded to Houston was the Crawford boxes in left field, because he's a dead pull hitter and he loves hitting at home.
Bounces in front of the plate as Alvarez takes second.
Edgar tries the best he can do with that one. That's a tough ball to handle. We'll watch it again. When it hits the ground, it goes back the other way. It's high off the chest protector and bounds away. Heads up base running by Alvarez as he takes second. That will go as a wild pitch.
Nasty knuckle curve there, gets the whiff. Spoke to the pitching coach Zach Bove before the game and asked him anything unique about this Astros lineup. He said one thing that we've noticed is the curveball will play to each and every one of these hitters throughout this batting order.
Well, the question will be getting it over the plate early so you can then use it as a wipeout pitch, which the last one was. Unfortunately, it was a second strike.
Runner in scoring position with 1 out to start this ball game. How about that fastball right down the middle? There is some serious confidence with Sean Burke right now.
There's his 4-seam fastball and a little extra life on it. That's what happens when you see a right-hand hitter swing below a fastball. That means that there's just a little hop at the end, which took it off the sweet spot.
Time to take a look at the lines to watch presented by Circus Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. We look at Sean Burke's strikeout total for tonight. Over under, Steve, is at 5.5. There's a chopper to the left side as Miguel Vargas trying to throw across. That will do it here for this top of the first inning.
I'll take the over.
I don't know if I should use engineered stone or travertine for my patio. I guess they're all the same.
All right, here we go. Take a look at the White Sox starting lineup. It is Sam Antonacci, who has settled in nicely at the top in left field. Munetaka Murakami looking for his first home run since coming back off the injured list. Miguel Vargas at third. Montgomery, Benintendi, and Braden Montgomery in right. Tristan Peters in center. Mydrop at second. And Edgar Carroll behind the dish.
There's a look at Hunter Brown out for his 9th start. ERA up over 5. Unusual for him. This guy's got overwhelming stuff when he's right. However, an early shoulder problem has limited his success this year. When he is right, he's one of the toughest guys to hit in baseball. 4-seam fastball he uses a third of the time, backed up by the sinker, which is why he throws so many ground balls to right-hand hitters. Then the knuckle curve behind that. Don't look for changeups or sliders. Doesn't throw too many of those.
Hunter Brown, his full windup. As the fastball. Looked like it was a little high out of the zone, but called strike one. Sam Antonacci not wanting to pull the trigger on a challenge to start this one.
Now Paredes can move back at third base, which gives him a little more room and a little more of an angle on anything hit his way. Wade Jr. is fairly deep in left field.
0-2 to Antonacci. It's been nothing but heaters to start this at bat.
He didn't throw a curveball in his warm-ups out on the mound. He only threw 4 pitches and didn't throw a curveball, which is somewhat unusual because that's one of his big pitches to get people out.
There is the knuckle curve. Explain how you would go about your warm-ups when you came on the mound to start a game.
Well, I tried to throw all of my pitches, and I threw 4 or 5 of them depending, and there were variations of all of them, but you should be pretty loose by the time you go out to the mound. All you're doing is trying to get used to what that mound is, and if it differs at all from the mound you warmed up in the bullpen.
One ball, 2 strikes, the count. Snaps off another knuckle curve, ball 2. It's been what Antonacci has been known for. Looking at a ton of pitches to start the game and let his guys coming up behind him see what the opposing starter has. Two-two pitch. It in the air to right field as Smith able to get there in time. Out number 1.
Cam Smith almost missed this one as that ball is drifting away from him. He thinks he has it here and then has to really speed it up at the end. It's not a good route to the ball, but turns out to be very effective. Made a fine catch in right field last night to help turn things around.
There is Munetaka Murakami. Time to get your phone out. See if Murakami can do something special here. His first time at the dish. It's been 12 games without a home run for him. The one thing that has been really good for him since coming back off the injured list, he has walked in 9 straight games.
Well, eventually Will Venable knows that the power is going to be there. Just when you miss 6 weeks of the season, it's not easy to come back and have a consistent stroke. Kind of interesting. Brown was looking at his finger as he got the ball back from the catcher. It'll be interesting to see if he might be raising a blister.
1-2. And Murakami did go around with the swing. Strike 3.
Let's take a look at the defense and how they're going to line up tonight. It's Wade Jr., Spence, and Smith in the outfield left to right with Paredes, Pena, Altuve, and Walker in the infield. Yainer Diaz behind the plate. And we told you about Hunter Brown, who appears to have pretty good stuff here tonight. There he's looking at his finger, and we'll keep a close eye on that because if a pitcher does get a blister, it's pretty hard for him to get a good feel for it.
Popped up into center field as Spence comes in. And we'll put an end to this first inning. No score after 1 here in Chicago.
The Colonel has a buck.
Welcome back. The White Sox are looking to bounce back after that tough loss last night. And listen, we know there's going to be losses throughout the course of the season, but Will Venable admitted that that one last night was a little tougher to deal with than most. He said he was going through the game, especially that 6th inning, and trying to dissect and think about things he could have done differently. He pointed to that time where he brought Brian Hudson in. Maybe he didn't pick the right time, but he said overall there wasn't an error. There wasn't that one play that led to a big inning, and at that point, you just got to tip your cap to the Astros and say, hey, that's just baseball. You got to learn from it and move on. But guys, an update on Kyle Teal. He was optimistic that maybe he could beat the timeline here, but we asked Will Venable about that before the game. He said we're going to see how he gets through this week in this 10 days or so, and then we're going to give a better idea of just a long-term timeline for him and when he can return.
We are having our fingers crossed. Hopefully it is on the shorter end of that 6 to 12 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a very valuable member of this team, a guy who was just starting to swing the bat like we know he can, but he's missed so much of this season. It's going to be very difficult for him to come back and be the guy we saw a good portion of last year.
So Lamont Wade Jr. an infield single to start this second inning as that ball is rifled foul off the bat of Christian Walker.
Walker's got some big power, and he showed it last night, only fortunately for the Sox it went foul. He did clear the bases with a double in that fateful 6th inning, however.
Was the big blow as he snapped a 10-game RBI drought at the plate. Appeal to first. He did go around. Mark Rippiger on the call.
That was a cutter and a pretty good pitch, and Walker did indeed go a little too far.
When you're on a run like Sean Burke is on, just 26 years old, any added pressure to him on the mound coming into the start tonight?
I just think that he is so happy to be entirely healthy, and right now he's thinking about how to duplicate the feeling that he had for the last 6 starts, because he's been unbelievable, very dominant, and he knows his stuff is good enough to win here, and that's something that a young pitcher, it takes him a while to start to believe that. You sign a contract, you go to your first minor league team, and you're with the best of the best. Then as you move up every level, the guys get even better because there's a weeding out process. But until you truly believe that you can win with your stuff in the major leagues, you can't be the pitcher you're going to be. And Sean has been just an overwhelming pitcher for the last month and a half.
Fastball blew it by him. Strike 3. Second punch out tonight for Burke.
That's where you want to go on Walker, because as a guy gets a little older in the game, he has some problems with upstairs heat. And with Walker, if you keep it up there, you're going to have no problems with him. It's just getting to that point where you can wipe him out with the face-high fastball. A little more velocity picked up by Sean Burke, as you can see. That's a substantial change during the course of a season.
And of course, that June 18th date was that appearance in New York. And Zach Bove deserves a lot of credit, the pitching coach for the White Sox, and getting the season turned around for Sean Burke. They changed his arm slot a little bit, cleaned up his delivery so everything flows a little smoother now. And when that happens, we're seeing the increase in velocity on the mound now.
And the fact that that cutter is much more effective from the same area that he's throwing his other pitches, so you can't pick it up when he throws it. It's very deceptive to right-handers, and you can get inside a lot easier on the left-handers when you throw a cutter.
Off the end of the bat, popped up into right center, as Montgomery will make the catch out number 2. Connor, what else you got on Sean Burke cleaning things up?
Some numbers here since the date you mentioned. Strikeout rate and walk rate speak for themselves. Left on base percentage, more of an under the hood number. That's LOB on your screen. It's a measure of how many guys who get on against Sean end up scoring. It's not a lot. 98.7% is a bit lucky. League average about 71%. But the Sox also think this speaks to Burke's ability to get a little extra on the ball, just like you mentioned, Steve. Quote, he's got that dog in him from Zach Bove. It's almost like Sean can work as his own reliever lately when opponents do reach base, like we just saw.
This dude is a competitor. He grew up as a hooper in Massachusetts, could have gone and played D1 college basketball, chose to go the baseball route at Maryland. When he needs to, there's another gear that he can tap into on the mound.
Well, with most pitchers, look, the reality of it is when you get to the major leagues, unless you're a Scooble type pitcher, and obviously very few are that good because he's won back-to-back size. But for the normal pitcher, he's got to believe on a given night he's going to be better than that hitter, even if that hitter is going to go to the Hall of Fame eventually. Because you're going to face some guys that are better than you athletically. You're going to face some guys that are going to be in Cooperstown, but you have to find a way to get them out tonight because they're standing in the way of you doing your job. And you might not beat them over the course of a career, but you can beat them tonight, and that's the attitude you have to take.
Sometimes it takes an elite team to pull that out of you, and that's what happened when he was in the Bronx on that big stage in New York, and he stepped up to the moment.
Well, there's something about pitching in New York, and there's some guys who can do it, and there's other guys who just can't. And that's why the Yankees and the Mets have to be very careful who they bring to their teams. That's a pressure cooker there.
Ooh, 97. And Sean Burke has that look in him tonight. Steve, how about this?
Some high heat. 2 strikeouts this inning and 3 for the game.
When you give someone your
Bottom of the second, scoreless between the Astros and the White Sox. This half inning is brought to you by Wintrust. A little warmer here tonight than last night, so Sean Burke, it'll be easy for him to stay loose. He's been good through 2 so far.
A little warmer and a little higher humidity. That's really good for pitchers.
See if the White Sox can get to the opposing starter, Hunter Brown. After his first 2 starts, had some shoulder issues and was shut down for over 2 months with a grade 2 shoulder strain.
He hasn't been the same since coming back, but the stuff looks pretty good tonight.
Colson Montgomery lifts this in the air to shallow left center. And a catch is made by Wade Jr. And a bit of an adventure so far in the outfield for the Astros, but they've made each play out number 1 here in this home half of the second.
There was an inordinate amount of pop-ups in the infield last night for whatever reason. Paredes caught 6 of them at third base, as the Sox were hitting just about everything in the air.
One out. Andrew Benintendi at the plate. Swings through that sinker. 98 low and away. That is a tough pitch.
Perfect pitch on strike 1. Very good pitch on 0-2.
Fifth season of Major League Baseball for Hunter Brown at 27 years old. Had a breakout season in 2024. Was even better last year. Through 31 starts, a 2.43 ERA, and finished 3rd in the American League in terms of Cy Young voting.
It's pretty heady territory. He had just a great year, and you can tell by his arm and also the fact that he's mixing in changeups this inning, something he didn't do in the first inning, that he's starting to feel more comfortable.
Benintendi behind in the count here. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He wants to feel very comfortable with that straight change because he's thrown a lot of them to Benintendi.
Two. 99. This dude is getting stronger. Connor, what else you got on Hunter Brown?
Yeah, listen, the stuff speaks for itself so far, but from last year to this year, no pitcher in baseball has seen a bigger increase in walk rate than Hunter Brown. 15.8% would lead all of baseball. He's only pitched 40 innings. He's had the injury, John, as you mentioned. Still, he's throwing fewer fastballs, more sinkers and curveballs these days. But Steve, it's not as though the Sox can just sit and wait for Hunter to issue walks.
Well, one thing you probably don't want to do is swing at anything spinning on the first pitch, because he hasn't shown he can get the curveball over the plate. It's been a good wipeout pitch, but like that last pitch, looked like a strike for a long time and then just disappeared out of the zone low.
The appeal to third, and Dexter Kelly said that Montgomery did go around 0-2 the count.
Luke Brown has been using the relative lack of experience against Montgomery. Those first 2 pitches, certainly.
Couple breaking balls to start this at bat. 0-2 pitch. And he did go on the 3rd straight breaking ball. Strike 3.
This copyrighted
Let's get caught up with some news and notes from around baseball. Juan Soto is going to miss a few weeks for the Mets. He's got a calf strain. It's the other leg, a different calf strain than the one that sat him out in April. Congratulations to Salvador Perez. He's now the Royals' all-time home run leader. He hit number 318 today in Detroit. The Guardians trail the Rays right now 2-0 against the Rays, one of the best teams in baseball. Guys, go Rays.
We will be scoreboard watching the rest of this one as the White Sox enter this game in first place in the AL Central. Bottom of the order, Cam Smith leads things off for the Astros.
He had a big home run in the 6th last night. He put the Astros on top, a lead that they would never relinquish.
Knuckle curve catches the top part of the zone. It's the other thing that makes Sean Burke so difficult. He can throw his entire arsenal for strikes, so the opposing team, it's very tough to game plan against him.
Well, the month of July, he's only walked one man, so that's been pretty good.
Fastball, another strikeout, number 4 tonight for Burke.
You see how that ball moved away, and this is a 4-seam fastball, but it almost has cutter spin. No chance at all for Smith.
You talk about the cutter, that has been an elite pitch that Sean Burke has developed and used more this season. As the slider drops in, strike 1 to Jeremy Pena, top of the order. This is what he's done. 11% usage. Doubled it here in this month of July, and Zach Bove, the pitching coach, said it's basically his damage prevention pitch, mainly used towards lefties. And what makes the cutter so special for Sean Burke is that it has rise and cut. It's something that you do not see. He said only Cam Schlittler of the Yankees really has the same type of pitch in baseball.
It's really been very effective for him, and we're going to show you a little bit about how it's held and how it's thrown. As soon as Pena is kind enough to get retired, we'll show you.
Everything just looks smoother, easier as the ball just explodes out of his hand now.
I just think it's a lot of confidence, and he realizes that not a lot of people are going to catch up to that high fastball he throws.
Ooh, knuckle curve, another strikeout here in this 3rd.
I'll say, so the cutter is made to look like a fastball until the very last moment, and you hold it off center. This is how Sean Burke does hold it, and different guys hold it different ways. For me, the key is the thumb on the seam also, as well as the 2 fingers. You release it like that, and you don't try to get depth on it. The cutter goes straight across, whereas a slider will get depth and move across. So 2 different pitches. One is devised to really neutralize the left-hander. This cutter into left-handers, especially when you keep it up, is something that nobody's going to really hit very hard. That's how you go after Alvarez when you really have to get him out. Not necessarily with nobody on and 2 out, but maybe later in the game when he's a big problem. And we'll take a look at the grip, and you see where he's holding the ball, very much off to the side. He releases it, and Spence thinks it's a fastball, takes it off the sweet spot, and fouls it back.
2-0 the count here to Yordan Alvarez as the slider lands strike 1. Alvarez popped into fielder's choice his first time up. As it takes that fastball in off the plate, ball 3.
That's where a whole lot of pitchers go to try to get out Alvarez consistently. But like many real powerful hitters, he'll guess with you, and if he guesses right, you've got a problem.
Gets the ground ball here as Chase Majoff ends this top of the 3rd. This top of the 3rd was brought to you by Hyundai.
Salad stuffer.
Are you ready for your winning moment? Find it at Wind Creek Chicago. Plan where the action never stops. Play the hottest table games, enjoy the newest slots, and celebrate big jackpots. At Wind Creek, there's a win waiting for you around every corner. Flags are blowing here at the rate. Hopefully lead to a White Sox home run or two here tonight. As no score here between the White Sox and Astros as we start this home half of the third inning.
Paredes is in very close on the grass at third base to take away any thought of a push bunt.
Hunter Brown has been very tough so far. It's been 6 up, 6 down.
He hasn't really hit with a straight change yet. Hopefully that trend continues.
2-0. Astros need some length out of Hunter Brown. Spencer Arrighetti, the starter last night, left after just 1 inning with nerve irritation in his right foot. So they needed 6 relievers to cover the final 8 innings.
They were very good out of the bullpen last night. They had some problems in the 5th inning. It was quickly erased with that monumental 6 they had. But by and large, the pen was very good.
Three-one count here to Peters, and he chases ball 4 there, strike 2.
If he's going to walk you, and he will, you swing at that, and now you're back in his sights. Really hard to lay off that high fastball, but it's something that you have to do, especially against a guy with overwhelming stuff like Brown.
White Sox looking for their first base runner. 3-2. Knuckle curve, and a nice job by Peters just to get a piece.
He had laid the bat out there and didn't bring it back, which was a good thing because this looked like a strike. Didn't really swing at it, but didn't have to as the bat stays alive.
Peters delivers that one into right field, and the first hit of the ball game for the Sox comes here in this 3rd inning. All right, Chase Madrath coming to the plate for more on that. We go to Brooke.
Well, John, one adjustment that's really paid off for Chase is being more aggressive on the first pitch. He swung at 18% of first pitches over the first course of the season, but over his last 12 games, that's jumped to 33%, and he's hitting .357 during that stretch. You know, Will said they've really challenged Chase to attack earlier. He said, listen, this league is so hard, and taking 0-0 every time can make it really hard on you. And Steve, we talked about this. Now this approach makes him a little less predictable to pitchers too.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what you have to be, because sometimes the best pitch you're going to get is strike one, as a lot of guys just try to get ahead of you, especially if they know you're not going to swing. So keeping a pitcher guessing is certainly the best remedy for hitters.
Peel to first. Mark Ripperger said he did not go around there. 1-1 the count here to Chase Madrath. There was a period where he was kind of opening up his swing a little bit, trying to shoot for the fence, swinging at those high pitches out of the zone, but it seems like he has really controlled himself over these last 2 weeks. This one has popped up as Spence comes in, but it's Smith in right field making the catch. Out number 1. Edgar Caro, his second start since being called up from AAA. That was when Kyle Teal went on the injured list with that sprained ankle, out 6 to 12 weeks.
And what the Sox organization told him, one of the things they said is, look, you're getting a little too heavy. We need you to lose some weight. Gives you more versatility behind the plate. And he went down there and did just that, 6 or 7 pounds, and did a few other things they told him about. But you know, this is a guy that's hit everywhere he's ever gone. Then he came up here this year, really hit a speed bump. but I know he's a hard enough worker to get it done.
1-0 count to Caro. He admitted to me that last year when he came in, he was about 210. This year when he came into spring training, he was about 225. So a little heavy, and he said he's really enjoyed dialing it in, changing his diet, really getting on the bike, adding a bunch of cardio to his routine every day.
Good job of laying off that high fastball, because you're not going to catch up to it up there. There's only one guy that can, and he's standing at first base. That's Tristan Peters.
I tell myself I'm going to dial in my diet all the time, and then I come here to the ballpark and nope. Let's do it again tomorrow. I got that sushi push pop right in front of me. It's staring me down like I'm about to take that thing to town. It has been all the rage. It has exploded on social media. Connor will have more on that coming up in this game. Edgar Kara lifts this in the air to right center. Spence with the grab, out number 2 in this bottom of the 3rd. It's time now for a message from Ankin Law.
Colson, it's important to put the work in, isn't it?
Absolutely. Practicing early, staying late helps me stay locked in.
And if you've been injured, my team is here to help you. Call 312-6-million. Injury law made personal. That's Ankin Law.
So first time through the batting order to the White Sox with 1 hit off Hunter Brown. Steve, you said it. Hunter Brown has just had success over the course of his career against the White Sox. In 4 career starts, he is 4-0 with an ERA under 3.
Hopefully tonight, Sox can take advantage of a trend that's been happening with him, which is lack of command at times.
Not quite a Texas heat, but with the humidity, you will get a lather quickly on the mound. Chop it at first. It is Walker keeping it himself. That'll do it for this 3rd inning. I cannot wait for that sushi push pop when we come back.
Introducing.
Welcome back. Time for some home cooking. Now, Munetaka Murakami's made a stir here in the ballpark, but amongst everyone here, he's driving some food sales as well. I'm here with Isette and Irvin. Isette, lifelong White Sox fan, I believe?
Yep, forever.
How many games you get to a year?
Like 20. We come often.
I love it. And Irvin, you got a favorite player on the team this year?
Currently Murakami.
He's doing pretty well, yeah. You know, we got some sushi. You guys go ahead and push up the push-up pop roll. This is the Mune shot. This is the tempura, the shrimp tempura version. You take the soy sauce stick, you push it up through the push-up pop. The sushi emerges. It's the sushi rice, it's the veggies, it's the shrimp tempura. You can get it in California roll as well. Is that, you like it?
It's so good.
She likes it. Irvin?
I'm about to go get another one.
Love it. I'm going to have several down here. There's nothing like sushi at the ballpark, and you can get them now here at Rate Field. John, Steve, I know you guys have had like, what, 6, 7 already?
The best part about it, you don't even have to get messy. You don't need chopsticks. You don't have to put your hand on it. It's in the roll, and you just push it up. It is ballpark friendly. I am loving it.
That looks like a revolutionary invention. And as you can see, very accessible. And you're right. You don't even need a napkin.
This ball's lifted in the air to left field, and Tanachi at the wall. He makes the grab. Paredes retired as we start this 4th inning.
Fortunately, the park just big enough. He gets a fastball on the inner portion, and you could tell by the reaction of Sean Burke, he knows he made a mistake. It did, however, stay in the park, and a fine play by Sam out in left field.
The boos raining down for Jose Altuve. as he taps this one foul. Seven in a row retired by Sean Burke. Just 2 hits allowed to start this game.
Let's take a look at the reaction of Sean Burke. He throws that pitch and he goes, oh man, that's going out of the park. No, it's not. Occasionally that happens. Yep. They don't hit every mistake out of the park. They hit a few of them though. At that time Sean got away with one.
You better take that luck to Wind Creek Casino. It doesn't always happen like that.
No.
Sean Burke nods his head in approval, accepting the pitch from Edgar Caro. 0-2. Line to right, Montgomery. That is now 8 in a row retired. The other thing we're seeing from Sean Burke, not only has his stuff been so good, he's pitching deeper into games, something we're not seeing from the other starters in the rotation.
But one of the reasons why he's able to do that is that he doesn't walk anybody. And if you don't walk anybody, if you're not going deep in counts, if you're known as a strike thrower, and he is, they're going to swing early a lot like that. Now that was on the outside corner, good pitch, but he's throwing mostly strikes with everything, and so hitters are just not going to concede that first pitch to him. They will swing at the first pitch a lot. Consequently, you get some quicker outs than normal.
The turnaround doesn't always happen this quickly. It was about a 2-week period that Sean Burke had identified what was off with his mechanics, how his arm was kind of dragging behind and he wasn't syncing things up, but he was diligent between starts to really get on track, and he is dialed in right now.
Tampa Bay has added to their lead, and that's good. Go Tampas. Royals did beat the Tigers today, 3-2.
Two balls, 2 strikes, the count. Beautiful third. He did not go around. Top of the 4th. This half inning is brought to you by Toyota. Sean Burke is hunting strikeout number 6 tonight. Here's his payoff. On the ground to Murakami. A little funky spin, but he stays with it. And a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. Sean Burke is in command.
Look.
Follow our White Sox at ChicagoSportsNetwork.com, presented by Nationwide Insurance Agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you did the jingle at JeffVuk.com, because Nationwide is on your side.
Pitchers have been in control. This one scoreless as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. We've seen a little expanded zone from the home plate umpire here tonight, but he's been consistent.
And nobody yet has challenged, so far they're pretty comfortable with Shane Livensparger.
This half inning is brought to you by Davis Law. One ball, 1 strike to count here to Munetaka Murakami, who went down swinging his first time up. It's not just Murakami. The White Sox have a bit of a home run drought as a team. The last home run we saw was Colson Montgomery in the 6th inning Sunday in Toronto. Murakami just pounds that ball into right field. A single to start this home half of the fourth.
That time Brown set him up with some fastballs, but he tried to wipe him out with that overhand hook. And you see it there. It's in the middle of the plate. Granted, it is down, but left-hand hitters like the ball down. And Mooney just hits that right on the button. Good way to start out the fourth inning.
Knuckle curve starts the at-bat. Strike one to Miguel Vargas. He flew out to center his first time up. Since the start of July, the White Sox have 13 home runs as a team. That is second worst in Major League Baseball. Only the Angels trail with 12 in the month of July. But we talked about this before the game. We were going through things in our production meeting, and you brought up a good point. The White Sox are still winning games, even though it was the long ball that carried them the first half of the season.
Well, I mean, that's what Will said. He was trying to preach to his team about there can be some nights and some pitchers you're just not going to be able to take out of the ballpark, and you still have to win those games. There's a lot of ways to do that. The Sox have found a lot of those ways, whether they draw some key bases on balls or able to hit the ball behind the runner, make contact in contact situations. They're winning games where they don't hit the ball out of the park. That's really what you want to see from your team. You want to be able to win games a number of different ways.
Vargas will swing over the top of that fastball. First out here in this bottom of the fourth. That's also playoff baseball, right? I mean, this is a team that has playoff aspirations, and once you get to the playoffs, you're facing the best in the rotation.
Well, there's no doubt that in a short series, first of all, the good part about it is a short series, the lesser team can beat the better team because it is a short series and you get a couple of hot pitchers and there's nothing you're going to be able to do with it. But as a rule, you just don't hit the ball out of the park as much in the playoffs. You have to play good, solid defense. We've seen teams taken out of the playoffs because they couldn't field the baseball. Detroit Tigers actually got taken out of the World Series because their pitchers couldn't field the baseball. And that happened one time to them.
Fielding was not the issue for the Dodgers last year.
Right now, this would be one of the few teams you don't want to face because the Dodgers have been red hot.
That was one of the greatest World Series I think I have seen in recent memory. I mean, the stakes, the drama, the plays that were made with the game on the line. And then you look at what baseball is. The Blue Jays were on the top of the mountain one year, and now this year a shell of themselves.
Yeah, nothing is really promised to you, and it depends a lot on the injuries you get to the key players, especially in your lineup. You get a few guys hurt that were contributors, you make a couple of trades, you think that's going to make you better, and it turns out it doesn't make you better. For some reason you disrupt the chemistry of your team and they don't play quite as well. Then you get those costly injuries, especially to pitchers. Now you're in trouble.
Fastball swung through by Colson Montgomery. Back-to-back strikeouts by Hunter Brown.
That's 5 for Brown.
Benintendi will foul that one off the catcher Diaz. 0 for 1. Strikeout Vickham back in the second inning. We weren't sure what we were going to see from Brown. His last 3 starts, he had an ERA just a tick under 8.
And that's not the guy that's out there tonight.
No. There's an Astros team that all of a sudden is surging. They have won 4 in a row, just 2 games back of the Rangers. They sit in 3rd place in the AL West. Murakami with a single to start this bottom of the fourth, on at first. Two to Benny. Both teams with just 2 hits in this ball game. Because Hunter Brown and Sean Burke are controlling the action right now. We are scoreless after 4.
White Sox baseball.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. Marquette Bank is Chicagoland's trusted neighborhood bank and home lender, so level up your banking with Marquette Bank at emarquettebank.com. Marquette Bank, love where you bank.
Well, I know you are loving this pitching matchup so far as we start this top of the 5th. This half inning is brought to you by St. Xavier University. Both guys just dealing.
Yeah, not much to choose from at this point. 2 singles given up by each of these guys through 4.
What is it about Burke that's made him so special so far tonight?
He's throwing strike 1. That's one thing. Also, you can't really sit on any pitch because he does have the good knuckle curve, as does Hunter Brown. So in that way, they're similar. The one difference is the cutter slider combination that Burke does throw. Brown uses a straight change much more than Burke does. So that's the difference between the two. Right now, they're both effective. They're both working up in the strike zone when they have to go get a various hitter. That's the kind of inside pitch that I like, which is inside off the plate, because you're forcing a guy, especially when the count is even or you're ahead, you're forcing him to swing. If you're behind him and you throw that same pitch, he just takes it and it's a ball. But there's not much you can do with that inside pitch except foul it off or miss it.
Trying to set him up for that curveball, just missing off the edge.
Well, that was one that perhaps a little different situation you might have appealed that, but it looked like it's just off the outside corner. It looked like a strike for a long time and then dipped out of the zone.
2-2 the count to Walker. Oh, Carroll thought it was a strike, called a ball.
Looked a little low to me. Let's hope that it turns out the other way.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile.
The call is confirmed. Chicago has 1 challenge remaining.
I think Edgar might have trapped himself because he starts to go and Sean says, well, I'll appeal it. No, you appeal it.
3-2.
He's going to go get him with a fastball. It's best that it's upstairs.
Burke through the windup. Slider by him. That is 10 in a row retired from Burke.
That's 6. If you took the over, go to the window.
This is our Postman Law delivery of the game. Others promise, Postman delivers. Rocking the Jordan 11s. I love the patent leather look.
They seem to be working well.
Yeah. All right, an update in the Guardians game. That game now in the top of the 8th in Tampa Bay. The Rays with a 3-0 lead. Yainer Diaz 0 for 1, a fly out his first time up in the 2nd inning. on the corner as Diaz wants to challenge. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
The call is confirmed. Houston has one challenge remaining.
Didn't have it by much, and it shows you that catchers, when they're hitters, are not any better than anybody else on those challenges. Now, when they're catchers, that's a different story. You see the ball all the way.
Stuck in the glove of Edgar Caro for the strikeout.
Going back to the high heat on that four-seamer. And he gets the job done.
Slider ties up the hands of the lefty Lucas Spence. Just 3 lefties in the batting order for the Astros. I mean, Burke is like playing a video game. Any button he pushes is working right now.
Again, which comes first, that reputation that you can throw strikes and force early swings, or do you have to consistently throw strikes to get the early swings? And the reputation and the consistency is what Sean Burke has right now, which is why he's been so tough. Opponents know he's not going to miss too much, so you can't just go up there and take the first pitch because it's usually going to be a strike. Then when he does get ahead of you, you can't guess with him because he's got 4 wipeout pitches.
1 ball, 2 strikes. You can see Burke unhappy, missing down with that one. Felt like if he landed it at the knees.
Well, if he lands a slider here, it's probably going to end the at bat. We'll see what the combination of Caro and Burke want.
2-2. Cutter lands as Sean Burke strikes out the side here in the 5th. Burke is on some kind of roll. 8 strikeouts.
Those big spots. He started the year just 2 for 49 in those situations, but over his last 5 games, he's 5 for 12. You know, Will told me he's been really impressed with just the way he continues to adjust his approach, and just another sign he's evolving as a hitter, guys.
Well, guys are going to have to make some adjustments against Hunter Brown. White Sox with just 2 hits as we start this home half of the 5th.
What Braden wants to do is look for a fastball. Brown has missed with the first breaking ball. He saw all breaking balls the first time, and eventually he's going to have to see a fastball, and that's something you really don't want to take. So he did get the fastball. He just missed with it. Now Braden's in pretty good shape at 2-0.
Brown taking a little more time before he toes the rubber again. As he knows, Braden Montgomery's in the driver's seat this at bat. 2-0. Braden Montgomery, over his last 8 games coming into play tonight, hitting .344 with 11 runs driven in. And now he's really sitting pretty. Three balls and a strike.
That was a sinker way out of the zone, and that'll be the next step for Braden to really get to stardom, which I think he'll eventually get to, is when you're ahead, you've got to swing at strikes because you're in the driver's seat. It's not the pitcher, and when you help him out on a pitch like that, now he's back in the count, and that ball was clearly out of the zone. So He's still a very young hitter. He's got a lot to learn, but the promise is there.
Three and two. Grounds this one to Altuve, who backhands at second. And Montgomery retired as we start this bottom of the fifth. Join us at the ballpark tomorrow as the White Sox take on the Houston Astros at 1:10 p.m. 15,000 fans in attendance will receive this: a Munetaka Murakami first MLB home run bobblehead that's presented by Toto Washlet. Now, to purchase tickets and prepaid parking, visit whitesox.com/promos.
I think that's going to be a fairly hot item tomorrow.
I do believe, yes. Tristan Peters swinging at the first one in the air to center field. As Spence just shy of the warning track, out number 2. We've already seen 17 whiffs tonight. And the career high for Hunter Brown is 21. Sean Burke has 14 swing and misses through 5. So both of these power pitchers establishing their dominance.
And they're both showing you that they can get the secondary stuff over the plate also.
Still scoreless. This half inning is brought to you by Prevagen. But came on the air talking about Chase Mydroff, how well he's been doing over his last 9 games. Hitting .406 with 3 doubles. Not many pitches for either starter, as Hunter Brown, this is number 65 tonight. Back up the middle, another backhand by Altuve. And the Sox retired in order to end this 5th inning.
Why bet at Wind Creek?
Sox fans, don't miss a moment as the Sox continue their push to win the division. Stream White Sox baseball live, including pre- and post-game coverage with the CHSN app. Get started today at subscribe.chsn.com. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead. As you can see, both of these guys dominant. 2 hits through 5, no runs, 8 strikeouts for Sean, 6 for Hunter Brown, and neither has walked anybody. You don't get much better than those 2 lines.
So he will plunk Cam Smith. And that's how we start this 6th inning.
This one just drifts inside, hits off the padded lead elbow.
That ends the stretch of 12 in a row retired by Sean Burke.
In that 6th inning last night, after the Alvarez single to lead off the inning, Paredes was hit. And then the hit parade started.
Uh-oh. Third time through is the top of the order, Jeremy Pena. Last night, his streak of 3 straight games with a home run was snapped. But he recorded his 2nd straight 3-hit game as he has really stepped things up offensively.
And hitting ahead of Alvarez, that's a good sign for the Astros.
On the ground in the hole, gets underneath the glove of Colson Montgomery.
There's a situation where Colson might have been thinking about 2 before he had 1. This is going to go as a base hit. We'll watch it again.
Let's see how this plays out as Yordan Alvarez now comes to the plate with 2 on, nobody out. It is time now for Cover Every Base, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking at the home run leaders in Major League Baseball, Yordan Alvarez leading everybody with 34 bombs this year.
What a year for Hunter Goodman. Well, the Rockies aren't doing well. Goodman has been unbelievable.
Give you an idea just how good both pitchers have been. Steve, this is the first time a runner has reached second base for either team tonight. Two and 0. See Edgar Kara motioning to Sean Burke, relax, settle into this at bat. Hard to be comfortable on the mound with Alvarez at the plate.
And normally you'd have to figure he gets the 3-0 green light all the time.
And the slider misses. A 4-pitch walk will load the bases here in the 6th inning. What is it about the 6th inning versus the Astros here at home?
Zach Bove out to the mound to talk with Sean Burke.
This half inning is brought to you by Elgin Hyundai.
Last time up, Paredes just missed hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Lou Venable's going to concede the run. The infield is back in the middle. Bases loaded and nobody out.
With that big 6-run inning last night, can you understand why the White Sox are looking for outs right now?
Well, with bases loaded and nobody out, they're going to concede 1 always. You want to stay out of the big inning. You can live through 1, possibly 2. Any more than that becomes pretty difficult, especially with Hader at the back end. Sean Newcomb throwing in the bullpen.
Paredes will call his time in a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Paredes has grounded into 10 double plays this year, and although he hasn't hit a whole lot of ground balls lately, you'd like to see one. Good spot for that fastball, though Paredes got the fastball he wanted. It wasn't the spot he wanted it. He loves the ball inside. This is out away and fouled it straight back.
'80th pitch of the night for Burke. We talked about Paredes his last time up in the 4th inning, how he just missed that home run. There's only one ballpark in Major League Baseball where it actually would have gone out. His home park in Houston.
That's Houston. That's why he was traded there. The Crawford boxes. Very friendly to right-handed pull hitters.
1-2. Appeal to first. Mark Rippinger said he did not swing. 2-2 the count. Burke looking for the first out here in this 6th inning with the bases loaded. That was poked through the hole in the right field. Smith will score, and that gets by Braden Montgomery. It is off to the races. Yordan Alvarez will score the 3rd run as the Astros strike first. A 3-0 lead here in this 6th inning.
That's going to be a single E9, you would expect. Braden was trying to throw it before he caught it. And he just flat out misses it. So a couple of balls that could have been played were not, and the Astros have 3. Now the infield in at all 4 positions.
Wherever you're sitting at home, we need someone to shake it up, move around, because we're seeing a little deja vu from last night, and it is not looking good.
The catcher is challenging the call of ball.
So Kara with the challenge. White Sox with 1 remaining. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
The call is overturned. Chicago has 1 challenge remaining.
I mean, it is so similar to last night. Davis Martin was cruising through 5. The hit by pitch, and then
things dissolve. This appears to be a little more self-inflicted than last night, however.
Looks back, the runner at 3rd as Altuve is retired. There's out number 1.
Well, the Astros certainly have enjoyed the 6th.
Lamont Wade Jr. is 1 for 2 tonight. Infield in for the White Sox. And it is now a final. The Rays with a 3-0 win over the Guardians. Once again, the White Sox have to come from behind here tonight against the Astros.
I think Sean realizes at this point that one way or the other, this is probably going to be his last inning of work. So whatever he's got left in the tank, it's time to empty it.
Most pitches he has thrown in any inning tonight, 21 here in this 6th.
Yes, he did.
Wade Jr. goes down swinging. And the 9th strikeout for Burke.
This is a good hard slider. And a nice pick by Edgar Caro, stopping this ball from getting by. Wade tried to check it up. Couldn't do it.
Christian Walker 0 for 2 tonight. Both punch outs. Burke getting back to his bread and butter, which is the fastball.
Trevor Richards now throwing.
And Burke is now a strike away from getting out of this 6th. 3 runs have scored, 2 of them earned. One ball, 2 strikes.
Tried to throw that high fastball by him, but it was a little too high.
Signaling on PitchCom what he wants to throw to Caro. Two. Burke trying to get through 6 and limit the damage and strand the runner at 3rd. But Walker not cooperating as he fouls off another one. Seventh pitch of this at bat.
It's been a very labor-intensive inning. It all started with the hit by pitch to Smith, and then you roll to the top. It's usually never a very good sign for anybody facing these Astros.
3-2. Walker continues to foul off a high fastball. 4th pitch that he has fouled off this at bat. As Peretta stands at 3rd with 2 down. Here's the payoff.
Into the camera well.
This will be the 10th pitch of the at bat. This one is drilled down the line. Will it stay fair? And it hooks foul. Whew.
Just in front of the pole as Walker finally got one to his liking and just missed hitting it out.
All right, after a swing like that, where do you go with this next pitch?
To me, a cutter away if you keep it up high is the pitch. One way or the other, you're asking the hitter to put it in play.
Pitch number 11. Wow.
Well, Walker's really in swing mode because that ball was a good 4 inches inside.
Sean Burke looking for a new baseball as he's trying to end his night on a high note.
Right at the century mark. 100 pitches.
12th pitch of the at bat. And Walker fouls off another one. Here's the sequence.
He's thrown everything up there.
35th pitch of the inning. And he gets it by him. 13 pitch at bat, won by Burke, and his 10th strikeout of the night.
When someone calls us, they're usually...
The Family Fan Cam is brought to you by Malman Law. If you've been injured in an auto accident, they fight like family for you. Like that south side cap, as the White Sox have to work from behind, trailing 3-0 against the Astros here in this bottom of the 6th. The last 2 nights, the Astros have put up a combined 11 runs in the 6th inning.
Has not been kind to the Sox. Probably the guy that hit the ball the farthest was Edgar Caro in his first at bat in the 3rd inning, almost taking it out just to the right of center field.
Edgar Caro, who had a very successful rookie season, was trying to build on that in the offseason, and he said, all right, let me think about how I can improve my swing, and he tried to incorporate his hips more to generate some more power and speed. But what he found was it was throwing off his timing at the plate and was never really able to get on track in this first half of the season. So when they sent him back down to AAA, his sole focus at the plate was just being on time and being ready for pitches.
He's still a very young catcher, and you're going to have to eventually just pretty much throw out the first part of this year and see what he can do from now going forward.
He's only 23 years old.
That's what I mean. He's got a world of things to learn. And he probably learned a very valuable lesson in the offseason. As you start to get a little bit older, you don't want to gain a great deal of weight.
Bouncer up the middle, backhanded, Pena at short. And he will throw out Edgar Caro, out number 1. And it's time for tonight's GovX Hero of the Game.
Chicago White Sox and GovX are proud to honor our hero of the game. Tonight we pay tribute to Petty Officer Second Class Ricky Lopez of the United States Navy.
He says, let's go, as the crowd stands up and salutes and supports. Always love our GovX Hero of the Game. All right, 3rd time through the order. Let's see if the White Sox can make any adjustments against Brown.
Well, so far he hasn't lost anything. The movement is there. The fastball is still good. And this isn't the guy that through the last 3 games where he really struggled. Command was an issue, but not so much tonight. He's thrown everything he's wanted to throw in the zone, just about exactly where he wants to throw it.
Case in point, has that changeup land, strike 2 to Antonacci.
Pen up and going. Hicks and Richards. Pretty much thinking you don't score here, it's going to be Richards. You do, it's going to be Hicks.
Off the big hop, it is Altuve at second, and a couple ground ball outs here to start this home half of the 6th.
Yeah, the one thing that gives you a reason for pause is that opponents hitting just 190 against Hunter Brown when going through the lineup the 3rd time. since the start of last year. That's best in the major leagues among starting pitchers with at least 105 innings. So talking about a guy that doesn't wear down very much. But lately the shoulder issue had really gotten to him. Now it appears to be 100%.
Dots the corner, strike one, and Munetaka Murakami singling his last time up in the 4th inning. And similarly to Sean Burke, it's not just the velocity, it's the movement on his fastball that makes him so dangerous.
And also he's shown as this game has moved along that he can get the straight change over pretty much when he wants to. That wasn't the case early in the game, but as he started to get a better feel for things, that pitch has really come along.
Oh, 2. All it takes is one swing to get Murakami and this offense back on track. Brown deals. Gets out of the way of that comebacker. Pena at short. And 9 in a row retired by Brown.
That was just a great play at shortstop by Pena. And the Sox.
The coldest moment of the night is brought to you by Jägermeister. How about this play at short?
This is an outstanding effort. This is a tough hop. Went right over the mound, and Pena able to make the play. And the defense for the Astros has been flawless. This call to the pen is brought to you by Lexus of Orland. Trevor Richards comes on for the 2nd time in as many nights. On for the 29th time with an ERA of 3 3/4.
He comes on to face the bottom 3 in the order as we start this 7th inning. The Astros were at a very critical point in their season after getting swept by the Orioles. As this slow roller up the middle, making the play out number 1. There was a lot of questions as to whether they would be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. This Astros team has now won 4 games in a row, and it's looking like they could be buyers come August 3rd.
Well, they came into the night sitting just 2 games in back of the Rangers. So if you're not going to be a buyer at this point, I'm not sure when it is you want to buy, but they're right in the thick of everything. And you get to the point, depending on what happens in the Central with the Sox and the Guardians and the Tigers, you don't win the division, you might be out of the playoffs. But there's going to be a lot of teams that will look to add, with a lot of teams feeling the same way.
Murakami says, I'll keep this myself. 2 down. Let's go to Connor for some trip down on the farm.
Couple of relievers to tell you about, John. Well, starters really, but relieving now. Hagen Smith had his first win of the season, throwing 2 innings of relief last night for the AAA Charlotte Knights. Tonight, Tanner McDougal worked a scoreless inning in relief. It's entirely possible, guys, that both these top prospects make their way to the bigs this year and perhaps out of the bullpen. We'll see.
Well, I would think that just the fact that they put both guys in the pen would lead you to believe 2 things. Number 1, the fastest path to the major leagues is out of the bullpen, especially when you're in the race late. And number 2, they've got their eye on both of those guys to give the Sox some strength out of that pen in the late going.
Think about the names. Tanner Smith. You got Shane Smith. Tanner McDougal, Shane Smith, Hagen Smith. I mean, these are 3 big arms. that could really make an impact for the White Sox going forward.
And they'll take a long, hard look at Shane Smith and find out if he still has the kind of command of the fastball that allowed him to be the opening day starter this year.
Then you got Drew Thorpe, who's also making his way back. Ooh, watch out. That hot shot going into the second deck.
Smith, who led things off last inning, getting hit by a pitch.
Ground ball. And as Vargas staying down on it. And a nice 1-2-3 inning by Trevor Richards after pitching 2 innings last night.
Is that where you're?
The memorable moments presented by Prevagen, and it is a night of Hunter Brown, and it's been spectacular to this point. He's fan 6. He hasn't walked anybody, given up just 2 singles. That's been it. So a team that he has dominated since he's come into the major leagues has been the Sox, and tonight no exception as they try to climb back into this one.
Heart of the order, Miguel Vargas leading things off here for the Sox. 0 for 2 tonight. As he drives this one in the air to right field, Smith backing up. And that's where he makes the catch. 1 down. So the 2 hits tonight, a single by Murakami and a single by Tristan Peters. That is it. Pitch number 85 tonight for Hunter Brown. The chopper to first. It is Walker, the flip. And Colson Montgomery retired for out number 2. Join us at the ballpark on Monday at 6:40 p.m. for Christmas in July, presented by Cordec. You can get in the holiday spirit with special activations. You get photo ops and more. To purchase tickets and prepaid parking, visit whitesox.com/promos. A lot of cool stuff going on at the ballpark. You got Christmas in July on Monday. Tomorrow is that Murakami bobblehead.
That's going to be a biggie.
Oof. There will be some lines to get into the ballpark tomorrow, so give yourself some extra time if you've got a ticket. And if you don't have a ticket, make sure you get over here to the rate here for the finale tomorrow. $11 in a row retired as Andrew Benintendi trying to break it up. After using 6 relievers last night, this is exactly what the Astros needed tonight.
Brown is the ace of their staff. He's been a little wobbly lately, but no evidence of that tonight.
As a starter, can you sense when your bullpen needs a little breather, when they need a little extra from you on the mound?
Well, it's just a question of taking a look and seeing how many guys you used the 2 or 3 games before you got out there. And you know there's certain times when pitching coach will just come up to you, give you a couple of baseballs to warm up and say, we need a long one tonight.
Son,
you're going to be out there for a while.
Big crowd here at Rate Field. 30,029 on hand on this Saturday night.
They've enjoyed a beautiful night for baseball. However, not much offense as far as the Sox are concerned.
Knuckle curve, swing and a miss. 12 in a row retired by Brown.
You might take some.
Time now for the upcoming schedule presented by Toyota. Let's go places. And we're going to stay right here, Houston, for one more tomorrow. And then the Yankees come to town for a big 4-game series. Then the Sox hit the road. It's Tampa Bay, who's having quite a series this last series. And the off day, it's on to Boston for 3 before coming back and seeing those Guardians head to head.
Now, we've been singing the praises of the bullpen, but I don't know if Trevor Richards has received enough love. He's pitching back-to-back games for the 6th time this season. 2 innings last night, and he's already pitched 1 here tonight.
Well, here's a guy that realizes he can't do it with the big fastball any longer. He's got to do it with craft and guile. He's got to do it with a straight change, which is really good, and then not only mix velocities but mix locations, up, down, in, out, and he's able to do that and command just about everything.
That one is hit hard through the hole into right field, so a single for Jeremy Pena, his 3rd of the night. Tune in to Picks the Click in the post-game show with Chuck and Ozzy, presented by the Bob Lacurcio Auto Group. You're going to like buying a car this way.
That's 6 hits in 2 nights for Pena. Plus, he's played an airtight defense to go with it. There's one thing to give the message to your ball club that you got to pick it up. It's another thing then to be one of the dominant players on that team going forward.
He had 3 home runs in that series against the Marlins where they swept, and now 6 hits in the 2 games against the White Sox since he's made that speech.
Should have made it early in the season.
Changeup gets the whiff from Yordan Alvarez, but it allows Pena to get to second.
Edgar couldn't locate where the ball was, and Pena, who's done everything right in this series, located it very quickly and just took off. There's a good change. This one catching Shane Livensparger in a bad spot, but it did stop it from going to the screen.
So the wild pitch allowing Pena to advance. And a change up, the wipeout strikeout of Alvarez.
It's another good change, and I think that's twice in the series he's faced Alvarez, and twice he struck him out on changeups.
It's performances like this where you really build confidence with your manager. As Will Venable is now starting to really trust Trevor Richards.
Well, there's also a premium in this game, and especially nowadays, of just taking the baseball. Are you available? The answer, yes. You take the baseball. And if you do that a lot, you're going to have a lot of teams very interested in employing you.
Taking the baseball and throwing strikes.
Just, are you ready? Absolutely. Just go out there and don't get yourself in trouble. If they hit you, they hit you. You can't walk your way into late game runs.
I mean, if there's something we have learned about Will Venable in his first 2 seasons, walks is something he just does not tolerate.
No, late walks in close games will do you in.
On the count here to Paredes. After 2 innings last night and his 2nd inning of work here tonight, still plenty of juice in that arm.
Well, it's more location with him. He's going to top out at 93. That usually isn't enough unless you're hitting exactly the spots you want, and then you've got a good straight change to go with it.
Poked into right field. As Pena's going to be waved in, the throw from Montgomery to the plate. And safe is Pena as the Astros take a 4-0 lead here in the 8th.
Pena's got some very good speed, and he showed it to you there. Time for our slide of the game, presented by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. If Edgar hangs on, there's a chance. Not a good chance, but a chance. And this way, it doesn't really matter.
Third run driven in tonight from Paredes. That's Jose Altuve stepping in, 0 for 3 tonight. The White Sox took care of business on the road coming out of the All-Star break, winning the series in Toronto and in Arlington. But this Houston Astros team, they are playing different right now.
But the team can sense that the division has allowed them to wait around long enough where things started to come together for them as Tyler Schweitzer starts throwing in the pen.
Popped up, and it is Murakami with room. And out number 2.
There's the pen up and going. De Los Santos and Abreu. Abreu on the right, De Los Santos on the left.
Taylor Trammell entered this game defensively, his first at bat of the night. That changeup has been special from Richards.
Well, no reason to deviate. First 2 look good, the third's going to look better.
Runner on first with 2 outs in his 8th inning. 0-2.
He threw it, couldn't get it there.
Not much of a move, as checking on the runner at first.
Well, seeing as Paredes has not attempted a stolen base yet, that was not ready to throw the pitch yet, so I'll go to first base with it.
Did not get Trammell to bite on that changeup, with Dexter Kelly on the call. Ball 2.
Looked like he checked it up. That was a good call by Dexter.
Richards looking to go 2 innings. Back-to-back nights. His 2-2. And the changeup floats high out of the zone. It's now full.
Ricami telling him he's playing behind Paredes, and that was the little acknowledgement by Richards, knowing that, okay, I won't come over there because you're not going to be there.
Fastball by him. But the Astros pick up one more and lead it 4-0.
They've all been good. The four-seamer, 4 strikeouts, the knuckle curve 2, and that sinker 1. But he's been in the strike zone all night with just about everything, and he's going to depart this game for Brian Abreu, who we saw last night, out for the 39th time, ERA up over 5. Last night he threw an inning, and he threw it pretty well. Couple of strikeouts and 1 hit.
Well, the White Sox did not have much luck against Hunter Brown. But a good start against the bullpen as Montgomery slashes a single into left field to start this home half of the 8th.
This is a breaking ball that rolls instead of breaking sharply, and Braden takes it through the left side. Nobody home at straightaway shortstop, and a promising way to start the 8th inning.
Tristan Peters 1 for 2 tonight. And this crowd of over 30,000 starting to buzz, sensing the White Sox need a boost here in this 8th inning. Slider missing, 2-0. And Diaz wants to have a conversation with Abreu.
Well, he certainly doesn't want this one to go any further as far as command is concerned. So Abreu, his stuff is usually overwhelming. However, this year, more than any other year, in 35 innings of work, he's walked 27. So this isn't a guy that you want to be impatient with, because if you allow him, he will walk you. He also has 4 wild pitches to go with it. So command-wise, has not been the best of the year for Abreu.
And not even close.
Well, he's been doing this most of the season, and the Sox looking for some sort of spark.
People have been wondering, maybe it's the new ink on his neck. He's got that ace of hearts that he got in the offseason. People are saying maybe that's changed things around. Got up to a slow start of this season. New second baseman as Nick Allen enters the game, replacing Altuve. And Peters will use his time here, understanding how big this at bat is late in this game. And chopped foul.
Jose Lajera makes some friends by throwing that very gently into the stands. Those who've waited around for what they hope will be a comeback, rewarded with a souvenir, and there's the wand.
Ooh, the magic wand. Mike Vass trying to conjure up something here in this 8th inning. Braden Montgomery with a single on at first. 3-2 to Peters. And we'll do it again. What's the new nickname for Vassell? Director of Culture?
Yes, that's one of them.
That's one of them, right?
Yeah.
The DOC reporting to duty right now. Three-two. And ball 4.
Very good at bat for Tristan Peters as he spoiled some really good pitches before finally being given the free pass.
That White Sox walk is presented by IDOT. No need to speed. It's not a game.
First walk of the night. Brown had none of those.
Well, Abreu's walk rate over 17%, highest in Major League Baseball. As Chase Mydrop to the dish. First and second, nobody out. Even with that pitch, Abreu's having trouble hitting his spots right now.
Yep. Pen up and going. And it's Souza, who we saw last night.
White Sox look to keep this rally going in the 8th inning. As Vassell drenches the magic wand with some water. That's all right. Whatever it takes at this point.
That was a good job of staying alive, because that was a cutter that was moving well out of the zone. Caught the end of the bat. And you see the late movement. It's not a strike. And fortunately, Chase is able to just get a piece of it.
1-2. Did he go?
Yep.
Home plate umpire called it. And there's out number 1.
He did indeed swing. Chase wants the appeal to first base to Mark Ripperger, but Shane Livensparker said, I saw it well enough.
This would be a big moment for Edgar Carroll to help his confidence at the plate.
Well, he's hit the ball pretty well in 2 at-bats. Doesn't have anything to show for it, but he's made some solid contact.
Shows patience as the first 2 miss. Did he go? He did not, says Dexter Kelly. It's now 3-0. Any chance he gets the green light?
In Clown Town, but not in Chicago.
He's taking all the way here in Chicago. Carroll locked in. As he fouls off that slider, it's now 3-2. Abreu already 20 pitches to get 1 out in this 8th inning. The payoff to Carroll.
Well, you'd have to figure that with Antonacci and Murakami, hitters coming up after Edgar, that they would go to Souza in the pen. Hader was kind of loosening up, but he wasn't throwing. He was loosening his legs. So it would probably be the left-handed Souza.
Three-two. On the ground, and it eats up Allen. He's able to get Carroll at first as the runners advance to second and third with 2 down.
That's a sure double play, but Allen, who was put in for defense, bobbles it long enough, and Edgar wanted to take a look back in the dugout to see if Walker had left the bag. This one eats him up. He's able to stay right with it. That's pretty close at first base as Abreu is going to depart.
White Sox fans get access to the best seats at the best value and lock in a 2027 ticket plan today. Be here for opening day and the biggest matchups of the year. Plus, you can enjoy flexible payment plans, savings on single games, and more. To secure your ticket plan, visit whitesox.com/2027.
We saw Bennett Sousa last night, and he threw it pretty well. ERA up over 5, on for the 8th time. He inherits runners at second and third. Sox looking for some magic off the bat of Randall Grichuk.
He will pinch hit for Sam Antonacci, top of the order, as the slider misses ball 1. Grichuk is the specialist, hitting off lefties as he comes off the bench. And a let's go White Sox chant here at the rate. Fastball down, ball 2. The fans have showed up this season for the White Sox. Looking to get on the board in this 8th inning. Jersley's got to hop out of the way of that one at third.
Not an easy place to be in that third base coach's box when you have a pull hitting right-hand hitter up, and you got to keep your eye on the man at second and third.
See what he does. His OPS jumps versus lefties. Out in front of that slider, 2-2 the count now. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. Grichuk pops this one up. It is Walker calling for it at first, and that will end the threat here in this 8th inning.
The hottest savings of the season are here.
Hey, White Sox fans, Wintrust proudly presents Big League Family Fun at the ballpark. You can stop by the Wintrust Kids Zone in left field, where kids can develop their pitching, batting, and base running skills with White Sox youth coaches. Wintrust, proud partner of the Chicago White Sox. Top of the 9th we go, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Sox.
Looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Tyler Schweitzer comes on for the 9th time. His ERA a tick over 4.
Six, 7, 8 in the order, with Christian Walker leading things off, and Grichuk, who just pinch hit, stays in the game and will play left. Astros with 6 hits, White Sox with 3, and all of them have been singles tonight. That has happened only once in a Major League Baseball game this season. No extra base hits in a game.
Pretty amazing, but both sides had pretty good pitching tonight.
Sean Burke, the starter for the White Sox. Hunter Brown, the starter for the Astros. If you're joining us late wondering about the caps for the White Sox, it is part of Hall of Fame weekend, where the White Sox, it's a nod to the 1949-1950 teams. It'll be a special day in Cooperstown tomorrow, with Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, Jeff Kent getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's always a beautiful ceremony, a wonderful afternoon, and some heartfelt thoughts by all those people that get to make that speech.
Fastball missing outside, so ball 4 to Walker to start this ninth. Yainer Diaz in the 7-hole. And just like last night, you do not want to see this top of the order come up again.
No, they've caused a lot of damage, especially Pena. 6 hits in 2 games, 3 singles tonight. Paredes has driven in 3 runs in the 3 spot.
Is this a team that can make a run for the division title in the AL West?
Absolutely. I mean, right now you can flip a coin pretty much the entire division. But you know, most teams have played anywhere 101 to 103 games at this point. There's still plenty of games left for some team to get hot and emerge as the team.
Fly ball center field. Peters moving to his left, and out number 1 here in this ninth.
What's going to be really interesting as we move forward, these are going to be 9 days where just keep your eye on all the news that comes out of baseball, because there's going to be some substantial trades coming along. Now, probably not for the next 3 or 4 days, but after that they're going to start to get serious about who they want to acquire and who they want to trade.
Rumors are already swirling about Tarek Skubal, Mason Miller, the closer for San Diego. But there's so many teams that are still left in contention that there's way more buyers than sellers at this point.
Well, that's one of the reasons why you can't make any strong predictions with 9 days left, because there are so many teams knocking at the door.
Another one right at Peters as he makes the catch, out number 2.
I think one of the things that really changed in baseball, there was a number of teams that would always trade their prospects, and they would just move them along and try to help their major league team. Lately, prospects are really great currency, and to get any team to relinquish a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them perhaps, is a very difficult thing to do these days. Teams just don't want to give away controllable assets.
Especially the trend that we're seeing in Major League Baseball, where guys are getting signed to monster contracts before they've even played a game in Major League Baseball. It has been all Tristan Peters here to start this 9th inning. Last chance for the Sox. Down 4, we go to the bottom of the 9th.
Strap in.
Sox fans, be here on Friday, August 7th as White Sox take on the Guardians at 6:40 p.m. Then stick around after the game for a post-game concert featuring Ja Rule that's presented by Coca-Cola. You got exclusive on-field passes. They're on sale now with limited availability. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/concert. Last chance for the Sox. And the big bats coming to the plate as Munetaka Murakami leads things off.
You would normally see Hader loosening up in the bullpen at this time. Not a safe situation yet.
Slider buckles the knees of Murakami, strike one.
And Josh Hader has just started to throw.
Murakami, one of the 3 White Sox hits tonight. And he comes up empty, back-to-back slider, strike two. How's your Japanese?
Good. That's his name, I think. Except it seemed backwards to me. Maybe it's just me.
A lot of fans embracing Murakami here in Chicago and on the road. I mean, we've seen so many Murakami jerseys around the ballparks here in Major League Baseball. One, two. Slider down, ball two.
There he is. Man at the back end of the pen. Spent a lot of years closing baseball games.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The fans have stuck around, hoping for a White Sox comeback. 2-2 pitch. A lot of sliders. Full count. Murakami in the air, back in right center, but it's going to stop just shy of the wall as we start this bottom of the 9th.
That's more like it. Monet has squared up 2 balls tonight. One was a base hit in the 4th, and this one almost left the ballpark.
Miguel Vargas hitless tonight, 0 for 3. Swings at the first one, slashes it into center. And a bobble. Vargas looking for more as he gets to second.
That'll be single E8. Miguel jumps on the first pitch. And Spence has some problems.
That's why they say always round the bag hard at first. Colson Montgomery drives this one foul. Trying to get that bat head out there early. Colson Montgomery fouled one off that calf in Arlington. Missed a game because of it, and he's wearing pad underneath that pad.
Let's hope it got both of those pads, because that one was fouled straight down.
All right, so here's what happened Monday. Oh,
that's right on the shin.
And then tonight, oh, looks like the same spot.
I think it's above the padding.
Now the problem with Colson Montgomery said when it happened Monday night, everything in that area swelled up. So even though he tried to play on Tuesday, he couldn't and had to have a tool scrape the fluid out of that area. He said it was so painful. But he's going to stay in this ball game.
Well, that's going to be talking to him the rest of this night, possibly for tomorrow.
Here it is.
It looks like identically the same spot.
Tomorrow we might see a longer shin guard. 0-2 the count here to Colson Montgomery. Drills this one into right field, and it's going to get down. Vargas, he will score easily. As Montgomery not trying to stretch it, an RBI single as the Sox get on the board here in this 9th inning.
Well, normally that's an easy 2-base hit. And the question now is, do you take him out for a pinch runner? Looked like a slider that stayed up in the zone, and Colson obviously not running even close to 100%. He takes it down the line, winds up with an RBI single. So Seuss is going to depart, and it's going to be Josh Hader coming in with a 3-run lead and a runner at first base.
Bottom of the 9th, White Sox down 4-1, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Astros.
It is their closer, Josh Hader, on for the 22nd time. His ERA a scant 1.40. Save opportunities 11 for 11. This now becomes a save opportunity.
Pinch hitter at the plate, Luisangel Acuna. And he did go around there. Mark Ripperger on the call at first.
Like a good call. I think he did go around.
Colson Montgomery stays in the game on at first base. I mean, you could just tell the way he was getting down the line was not comfortable. But he's a gamer. 1-1. White Sox have scored 1 here in the 9th inning. Did he go? Home plate umpire called that one strike 3. What is it about Hader that makes him so tough?
Deception and pretty good stuff. I mean, this is upstairs, out of the zone. He got ahead with the slider. But I don't think guys pick up the ball right away. He's long and lean. He's 6'3", under 190 pounds, and you just don't pick up the ball until it's on the way. So the velocity is increased by 2 or 3 miles an hour.
See, as he delivers the pitch, he tucks it behind himself, shows you his back.
And doesn't show you the baseball till the very last moment. That's why he's been around this long.
Last chance, Braden Montgomery fouls that one straight back. 1-1 the count. Sinker left over the heart. And now the Sox down to their final strike of the night. Montgomery at first as Hader steps off to take a look at him.
Believe me, Colson won't be stealing. Doesn't have to worry about that.
One-two pitch. Braden Montgomery 1 for 3, singling his last time up in the 8th inning, but was stranded at 3rd. Lays off the slider outside, ball 2. White Sox bench on the top step. Hoping to continue this rally here in the 9th. 2-2. And that's going to do it. The pitching for the Astros just too much tonight. And the White Sox will fall in game 2 4-1 as Houston will take this series.
It's one of those games where if you're not going to score a lot, you have to play airtight defense, and the Sox did not tonight. So the pitching of Houston was terrific. And unfortunately, a wasted effort by Sean Burke, who also was great. So day game tomorrow, get your rest, and we will see you then.
The good news, the Guardians did lose, so the White Sox remain a game and a half out in front in the AL Central. The finale of this series comes up tomorrow, but tonight it was a tough one as the White Sox lose to the Astros 4-1 as Houston now a season high 5-game win streak. For Steve Stone, Brooke Fletcher, Connor McKnight, I'm John Schriffen. Thank you for spending your Saturday night with us. Coming up after the break, stay locked in. White Sox postgame live presented by Yingling.
White Sox baseball on